So what is a good time at which you should start kind of thinking, okay, that this is the right time to decide like which career I should choose?
See, I think a firm decision about a career may not come so easily that I really want to do this. Or if you talk about the classes 6, 7th, 8th, that is the time where students need to build upon the different skills.
A lot of parents and students are kind of a bit worried and confused like what kind of impact it will have on their career choices. What can students prepare themselves to kind of gain better opportunities in the age of AI, and what kind of career streams they should focus on?
AI is not replacing all the jobs. It is just replacing the routine tasks that we do. So instead of getting afraid from the AI, like it has come into the picture, it is replacing a lot of jobs. Not at all.
What are some of those unexplored careers where students can look forward to and which are high paying? There's not a lot of competition, not so much talked about.
So that is the wrong way of choosing a career because
Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. Today we have Shivika Batra joining us to discuss what kind of career opportunities the new generation can look forward to. Shivika Batra is a career strategist and also a TEDx organizer, and she has gone beyond her ways to ensure that children are able to fully utilize their potential, whether domestically or if they want to study internationally also. Shivika ji, please welcome to the podcast.
thank you so much, Pradeep. It is my honor and opportunity that you invited me to this podcast. And so that I can share my
Thank you, Shivika
journey
ji.
with everyone, how it started and now how it is going, how important it is for us to understand the importance of the career counseling these days, as we have a lot of career options available. So, yeah, thank you so much for calling me here.
Thank you, Shivika ji. And you can also take a minute to kind of tell the audience like what is your approach for career counseling generally, what's your philosophy, and then we can get started.
Okay. So my approach is, I think career counseling should never start with just the guidance. It should always start with the connection with the students. Because nowadays the students are so vulnerable and fragile that it is very important for us to understand them first, get to know about what they are looking at actually for, because they're so confused with a lot of career options available these days. And of course, the peer pressure, the competition is too much. So therefore, our role comes into the picture so that we can understand them well. We can know what are their strengths and weaknesses. They should not just run behind the trend that this is trending, so we should follow this trend, or probably this is trending, or we should follow this trend. No, not at all. It is very important for them to understand their strengths, weaknesses, what are they really good at, what are their capabilities are, because trends may change again after 5 years. Then what?
Right. Okay.
So
One of the things that is happening recently is right this whole advent of AI, right? Artificial
yes.
intelligence, and a lot of parents and students are a bit worried and confused like what kind of impact it will have on their career choices. It would be great to hear from you like what is your assessment of this, and what can students prepare themselves to kind of gain better opportunities in the age of AI, and what kind of career streams they should focus on, or should they not worry too much about it?
I think AI is not replacing all the jobs. It is just replacing the routine tasks that we do. Uh, because see, the kind of technology we are living in, it will keep on changing. So of course we can't say, oh my God, this era has come into the picture and now and now what we should do. So I think
Okay.
we should either friends with AI, try to
Okay.
understand what AI is, and try to
Okay.
work with it. So the future belongs to the people who can, I think, create, or they can be a good solve problem, like a problem solver, or maybe who can work with AI. The students should not focus majorly on how to memorize the information, rather they should learn on how to use the information. So instead of
Okay.
getting afraid from the AI, like it has come into the picture, it is replacing a lot of job. Not at all. I think we should all learn that how to cope up with AI, how to use AI in our perfect world. I think it has made our work very easy.
Okay.
AI has made us a multitasker. That's what I feel. So even
100%.
if I'm
Okay.
a career counselor, I need to do something. Maybe I need to create a poster.
Okay.
I
Okay.
need to do some creativity work, or maybe I want to check on something. It has made my work easy. Like the research, of course, whatever we have to do a lot of research based on the students' questions, everything. So it
Okay.
has made my work very easy. So I have really friends with AI rather than making
Okay.
it my competition.
Okay, sure. So what I understand is there is no need to worry too much about career streams when it comes to AI. In every stream, probably AI will play a role where it will make the job more efficient,
Absolutely.
and so it's a good idea to be friends with AI to learn the technology because, as you mentioned, right, a lot of things which can take a lot of manual time will get reduced. But all good and fair, you are still good with whatever career choices you want to choose, you feel interested in. You can still pursue that. Shouldn't worry too much about the impact of AI on those streams
Absolutely,
at the moment.
absolutely.
Another question that I had in mind, and which many parents have in mind, right, is generally like, what are some of those unexplored careers, let's say particularly from the perspective of our country, where students can look forward to and they can get good, let's say, which are high paying, and where there's not a lot of competition, and maybe not so much talked about, let's say, in our country, or maybe internationally those footprints are there, but here, let's say, those kind of careers are not yet taking root. So what are some of those career opportunities? Because nowadays I think people don't just want to follow traditional
Yeah,
routes, right?
and that I'm very happy about. Okay, so either see there are two ways. Either you can make competition like a real challenge and
Okay.
in a very positive way, or either you can
Okay.
get scared of competitions. I think competition is everywhere. So even if
Okay.
you're really keen on choosing a career and you're very confident about yourself, okay, I'm going to do really wonders in this career. So there's no competition there. Like you're a competitor on your own. But
Okay.
if you take a career based on the fact like, okay, I want very less competition, a lot of people might have not explored that career. So that is the
Mm-hmm.
wrong way of choosing a career because where is your intention then? Intention of
Mm-hmm.
that particular thing. So
Okay.
yes, I'm very glad that I've seen in the real experience as well that a lot of students have overcome this trend of getting into just engineering, medicine, or law. Rather,
Okay.
there are careers which a lot of like a lot of not people are not focused about or maybe are not like aware about is of course AI ethics. AI
Okay.
ethics is one such of a career. Then we have behavioral sciences. Then we have
Okay.
sustainability consulting. Then we have digital policy as a career. We have cyber
Okay.
security because now everything is working on the internet. Like
Right.
everybody, I think. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
AI is into there, so of course a lot of cyber threats have also increased. So cyber
Okay.
security is one such thing. Learning design is one such thing. User experience research is one such thing. Geopolitical analysis, which hardly anybody thinks about, and
Okay.
climate technology. So these
Okay.
are certain sort of careers where students have not explored much, but I think they can
Okay.
enter because
Okay.
these fields are growing very fast. Because
Okay.
the technology is creating new problems where, of course, human judgment and involvement is very important.
Okay.
So I think students can even explore these sort of careers, and
Okay.
AI, of course, is there into the picture in every part of the career. So again, it is very important for us to know where to use AI efficiently in all of these careers.
And let's say somebody is interested, let's say, in one of these career, let's say geopolitical analysis. Okay. So what kind of steps can that particular student take? Let's say he's in ninth, eighth or ninth standard.
Mhm.
Okay. And he or she feels interested in those particular areas. What do you think some of the things he or she can do to kind of be more involved in that particular area and explore, like, if she's or he is a good fit for there actually,
Mhm.
and like career stream wise, how can he or she pick up right opportunities so that he actually realizes his potential in that stream.
Okay. See, I think whenever we are exploring a career, we just don't have to Google the job titles.
Right.
Instead of that, I mean, nowadays a lot of options are available where you can get a beforehand information whether this kind of career is going to be suitable for me or not. So
Okay.
what we can do is whenever we have something in mind, like we have thought about something, okay, this kind of a career is going to be really helpful for me, or maybe I'm really keen on exploring this sort of career. So I think grade 9 onwards, what you need to do is you need to step into the professional journey of yours, right? Maybe you can talk to professionals and you can just maybe watch a day life videos of them. You can speak to real industry experts. You can follow experts on the LinkedIn. And take small projects or internships. Even I have sent my students, as I'm working in a boarding school, even I have sent my students for the different internships, offline and online. I just want them to explore. I mean, if my students say, okay, ma'am, I really want to understand what is psychology or how could I inculcate psychology in a professional world. Now, I have seen students who are really very much keen on learning psychology, and the others are like, I want to work on this part. So I always ask them to go for different certification courses, go for different internships so that you can understand, whether you are really want to be into this career or not. And I think the fastest way to understand a career is to experience a small part of it. And that you can do in your initial years of, not initial years, but in your high school thing where you start from grade 9th onwards, then 10th, then 11th, and 12th. Of course, you get a lot of clarity then.
Yeah, that was one more question because a lot of times, you may feel excited about certain things when you read about it, but in the long run, whether it's a good fit for you, as a career, it may not be, you may not feel that interested later years, right? So, what is a good time at which you should start kind of thinking, okay, that this is the right time to decide like which career I should choose? Even that may change also later, but as just because students, who are in sixth or seventh standard probably will not be so self-aware, right? So at what time do you think they should start taking this thing seriously and start thinking in their mind like I have to freeze a career stream?
See, I think a firm decision about a career may not come so easily.
Okay.
That I really want to do this. Or maybe it can come, but again, there is a kind of a confusion that always the students held in their mind. So,
Right.
grade ninth is a time when they have to start exploring about the different options. Because I think
Okay.
in the initial years of schooling, like a primary school, if you talk about maybe, if you talk about the
Mm.
classes 6th, 7th, 8th, I
Mm.
think that is a time where students need to build upon the different skills.
Okay.
They should
Okay.
build upon the critical thinking skills. They should build upon the communication skills, which is really important. They should be
Okay.
aware of how to explore the creativity part as well. So creativity is all not always about the designing thing. It is all about
Right.
how
Right.
can you be creative in the other parts as well, right?
Okay.
So that is a time where students should come out of their shell. I mean, sixth, seventh, eighth, where they should start doing a different type of activities where they can learn more about the skills. Now,
Okay.
because communication skills are very important these days, maybe student may understand it or not. Even if you have an ample amount of knowledge, if you're not able to communicate it well, I think that knowledge is of no use. So
Right. Okay.
that is a moment where students need to build up their confidence and everything. And when they come to grade ninth, I think that is a moment that should hit them, and they should
Okay.
start exploring about the career options then. Now they have built up all like already they have started with the skills building part. Now ninth
Okay.
way they should understand what is the
Mm.
science stream, what are the options available, and then probably what is up because 11th eventually they have to select an option. They have to select a
Yes.
stream, and that stream selection is also very important.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I
So
think
okay.
ninth is the right time.
Okay. And going back to the earlier point that you mentioned, maybe they can do small courses and do certifications. But what I
Absolutely.
feel is like these days students are pretty absorbed in their school time only, and the school time has also increased a bit, right? Earlier it was like till 1 p.m. Now the students generally come by, let's say 3:34, right?
Mm.
And then they have homeworks and all those things, right? So how do you think they can make out some time for some of these ventures? Let's say they want to explore, and are there any kind of courses or certificate programs for like students who are let's say 9, 10, 11 standards also? Because generally I have seen those kind of internships for people who are let's say out of college or after 12th, right? So are there such kind of courses also which let's say students can take in ninth or 10th standard? Let's say
Absolutely.
2 hour. Okay.
I think certification courses are available very easily. Like you
Okay.
need to explore the domains like Coursera or Udemy, where
Okay.
all of the certifications, if you just say a keyword, I think they are going to provide you with options of the number of options, like which kind of certification course you can do. It probably could be a week course, maybe a 2 weeks course, maybe a 4 weeks course.
Okay.
And you can do the course at your own flexibility because they're pre-recorded sessions. So as and
Right,
when you
right,
get
right.
time, maybe 1 hour, you are busy exploring, maybe probably Instagram, maybe that moment you can utilize just to watch the video of the pre-recorded lesson and then you can explore the certifications. Because what I've seen in my personal life also that students, when I ask them or when I mention them that this is the time, high time that you need to start building your profile. You need to do a profile building. But the time remains very less to them then. Ninth mein aake, they are so much occupied with their studies. They have studies pressure also. Then they have to do the trainings, coachings, and everything. So I think sixth onwards, we can't mention them that they have to do the profile building, but I think that we can start inculcating in them that explore this, probably a sport, get into a hobby, uh, explore your skills. So that when you come in grade, probably ninth and 10th, you know why that you have already built up your profile. You just have to mark it down on a sheet then. Yeah, and internships के लिए, we have an organization which is called as Yuva. There are a lot of organizations, but I think I majorly trust on Yuva as an organization, because their intention towards providing this internship is very deep. And the thought is, of course, very, very, very learning innovative, and they have thought it with a lot of purpose. So I always send my students for internships, maybe during the summer vacations or winter vacations, because I know during the usual school days they're very occupied. And as I work in a boarding school, so I can understand their schedule is very, very tough. So I make them understand that utilize your maybe Sunday or Saturdays, or maybe utilize your summer vacations or winter vacations, but at least add on something.
So I think, yeah, this is a good keyword for students to keep in mind that they have to keep building their profile,
Yeah.
and probably even a 2 hour course, if they can do right, let's say in 10 standard,
Mm.
and they can kind of create their certificate, it will be helpful in the long run because it shows their intention and their interest. Okay,
Yeah.
and of course, it will help them in exploration also. Okay. One more question is like nowadays there is also this thing that instead of having one skill, right, develop multiple skills.
Mm.
Probably that will be more helpful in the sense that if this does not work out, you can fall back to that, or there can be opportunities where you can apply both the skills. For example, if you're very good at computers and you let's say into construction, then using computer-based modeling, you can kind of do deep work there. So what would you suggest about that?
I think, of course, in this competitive edge, you need to be a multitasker. If you're just holding
Okay.
one sort of a skill, that may not lead you to a higher range of competition. So as
Okay.
and when you keep on building your skills, not just at one time, but slowly and gradually, you understand what the market scenario is, what is the market actually looking out for, and everything's so much
Okay.
accessible these days. So the certifications that I mentioned to you, so they are all available online. For example, if I'm a career counselor and I need
Mm-hmm.
to work on something, maybe again how to build an AI model, I can easily learn it, and that is going to really help me out in some or
Okay.
the other way. So I think even the
Okay.
professionals, not just the students, but even the professionals should start exploring and just keep on adding something to their lives, or to their
Sure.
professional journey. Because if you want to stand out against someone, so that is only your skill that is going to help you out.
And another question that I wanted to ask is like certain topics, for students like humanities, etc.,
Hmm.
where you want to study humanities deeply, what is happening in the
Yeah.
world, and let's say maybe related to psychology also a little bit, and as you mentioned, right, behavioral science. What would be the best foot forward for these kind of careers? And because the world needs more such people who are interested in these careers, and
Yes.
any kind of successes that you have seen here in these directions, like
Absolutely. I think humanities is no longer just about becoming a teacher or a professor.
okay,
Previously, that there was a myth that humanities can only be taken by students who have less percentage, or who just want to
okay,
become a teacher or a professor. But no. So strong skills in writing, psychology, economics, history, philosophy, and communications are becoming valuable in policy making,
okay,
in the consulting profile, in the media profile, while doing the research part as well, in the diplomacy as well,
right,
leadership
right,
part as well, and even AI. So I
okay,
think if somebody is really keen on learning all these skills and really good at it, so they can get into the multiple organizations, they can get into policy making part, they can get into some kind
okay,
of meet and communication part where the skills are going to be really, really beneficial for them. And even I have seen my students. I mean, one of my students opted for humanities, and she was really good with political science. She was really good with the writing skills as well. And now she's working
okay,
with the government part where she's into the policy making, domain policy
okay,
making. So yeah, I mean, of
okay,
course,
that's
I
nice.
mean, you should be aware like where you have to use your skills in a better way. So that road mapping of a career option is very, very important.
And let's say students who are not very sure about all this, like they are not well versed, where can they find all this information and whom should they reach out to, let's say if they let's say they have multiple talents and they are a bit confused, like where should they go, right? What would be
I think
what?
there is an area where the career counselors comes into the picture.
Okay,
So of course you will find a lot of career counselors maybe. They just, I mean, of course we all use a different sort of resources where we have to gather the information. So what I tell my students that, I mean, of course I'm a part of a school, so students should come to me. So my first thing is not just to get them or not just to throw a lot of knowledge at them. Our main motive is try to
okay,
understand
okay,
them. Maybe at times students might come out of the peer pressure, ma'am, my friend is doing this, I should also do this. No. Need to understand the student
okay,
first, right? Try to build a connection with them because we are going to be a second parent for them
okay,
then. And this is a matter of their career. So of course we can't just go with
right,
the
absolutely,
with the permutation and the combination wala part. So while understanding them, we talk to them. We just try to understand what they really like to do in their leisure time. Who is their motivator? Whom they really like to watch, and what are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Are they going to do something about it? So I think try to understand the student first, and it is a part of a career of a career counselor only because I have seen a lot of students. See, they what they do is they just open a AI chatbot and start researching about it. But I think the profession like this
okay,
needs a lot of human involvement and empathy. So
okay, sure,
therefore, the career counselors plays an important role here where they get empathy into the picture. They try to understand the student, and then of course, whatever researches we have to do, whatever the part we have to play, then we of course provide them with a lot of options. We don't just have
okay.
to tell them, okay, this is good for you. No, we have to give them options so that they have to make a selection.
And one more related question is like how to select a good college, because let's say there can be different criteria, right? And let's say someone might have got like a very good marks, someone might have got average marks, right? He might not be applicable into certain colleges. So if he has to choose a good college which might be let's say into different areas, right, like humanities as you mentioned, and both like for India as well as he wants to research abroad, let's say they are interested in studying abroad also. There are too many options these days, right? So how
Hmm.
to is there any method they can use to be sure that okay, this
Of
is the
course.
best college that is appropriate for me? And because oftentimes what I've seen is, even we used to do this, whatever we used to hear from our friends and all that used to be the only source of information. But today's in the times of internet, how can they make this very methodical and kind of make the best decision when choosing, let's say, the institution in which they want to study?
Right. So do not choose a college only because of its brand name or maybe your friends are going there, right? You need to ask yourself
Right,
four
right,
questions before choosing a college. Maybe who teaches there? Who are the faculties? Very important. What
okay,
opportunities will I get while you're doing
okay,
your research? You need to also opt for the opportunities. Where do graduates end up? Like, of course,
okay,
the placements. That is
hmm,
one major agenda that we opt for a college. And will I
hmm,
enjoy learning there for 3 or 4 years?
okay, okay,
Because this is not just about, I mean, about a degree factory. So a college is not just about a degree factory, rather it is a growing environment or your growth environment where you
right,
need to learn a lot about the life skills. And if you're enjoying studying there, if you are really and comfortable with your faculties, you are gaining a lot of knowledge, I think that's the best option for you. So ask yourself these
okay,
four questions and don't run after your friends because nowadays also it's happening. I mean, when students come to me, ki, ma'am, I'm going to go for this
hmm,
college because this is very renowned. No, I tell them, keep an options available for yourself. Look for the
okay,
universities which are now coming into the picture because they
sure,
have a
okay.
lot to offer. Right. So
And
that is what I suggest my students. Yeah.
and particularly for, let's say, international side, right, where you want to go outside India and study, the budget and all those can be constraints, right? And certain locations,
Yes.
particularly the kind of turmoils we have seen in the last couple of years, right, they can also probably scare the students a bit. So in that situation, right, any tips you have for selecting a good college, a good country to study in, like where they should probably feel safe and they would learn something and come out there?
See, whenever students are planning for abroad studies, so they have a
Hmm.
lot of things in mind because it's a very
Right,
huge decision that they have to make. But I think
right,
they should start with looking out for the country and not just the university.
okay,
Because
okay,
nowadays we can see what all is happening abroad with the students,
right,
like they're living
right,
outside. So different countries have their different strengths. So
Okay.
we need to look for the course content, we need to look for the career outcomes, we need to look for the cost involved. We need to look for
Okay.
the scholarships, we need to look for the work opportunities, and also majorly we need to look for the immigration policy. What if after
Right.
spending 50 lakhs or maybe 1 crore, what if you're not landing anywhere? They are not allowing you to maybe, just work there or maybe just do an internship there. That makes of no use. I think these immigration policies are very, very important. So the best universities is not just about being the famous one, but it is one about that matches your goals. So what is your goal? So that's what I
Okay.
said that, while you choose your career, while you choose your college also, that road mapping, that mind mapping is very, very important.
Interesting. And because, even in Australia, we heard a lot of cases, not prevalent right now, but maybe like 5 years back, we were hearing a lot of cases, right, where Indian students were being harassed and all those things.
Yeah.
And sometimes, parents might be thinking, right, like, should I send my children to these countries? But what I understand is in every country, there is some issues or the other, probably a bit over highlighted. Maybe most of the students don't face these things, but you cannot completely ignore these factors also when you are choosing a country or as you mentioned, institution.
See, even in my real experience, also I've seen students, okay, I'm going to this particular country because my friend is studying there or my rishtedar stays there. I think that is the reason that
Okay.
they're giving me why they are traveling or where they're planning to study abroad. These are okay, these
Okay.
reasons might be helpful for you to a certain extent, but these reasons are not going to choose on your career or your goals, whatever you have decided. So
Right.
I've seen a lot of students who have spent a huge amount of money outside, and what now they're planning to move back. They're planning to move back to India because they're not getting any sort of opportunities there because the reason what
Okay.
they've selected were not appropriate. To look
Yeah.
for a very important, and of course, parents, when we think about parents of course look for a place where they have somebody staying over there. ठीक है, I
Right.
mean, that can be taken into the consideration, but that is just a minor factor to decide whether you should go to that particular country or not. We have other major factors to also decide. So I
Right.
think whenever we are planning to move abroad, that's a very big decision that you are taking. And think on a lot of parameters and not just about कि उसका भाई वहाँ पढ़ रहा है या बहन वहाँ पढ़ रही है उसके रिश्तेदार वहाँ पे रहते हैं, therefore we are planning to send that person abroad. No, not
Sure.
required. So
Another question that I had is like, for students who are, let's say, not from very prosperous families and have some budget constraints, right? What support do they have to go into higher studies? Do we have anything from the government which they can utilize? Any? Do you think they can also enter into this online, like Coursera and Udemy you mentioned, right? Those kind of courses might be helpful for
absolutely,
them. Will
absolutely.
those courses create some job opportunities for them?
Absolutely. So these online certification courses that I was mentioning, they are not that costly courses. I mean, if you
Okay.
say they charge around maybe 1,000 or 1,500 rupees, or maybe there are certain courses which are free of cost. And I have seen the students who are just from a mediocre background, they are really focused on because they have seen the value of. So
Okay. Okay.
whatever opportunity they get, they just want to grab it and they want to take it ahead. So I think these students make a better profile than the students who have everything available to them. And therefore they get, I mean, I have seen students who are not from very, very healthy family, very, very not wealthy family, but they have still got opportunity to move abroad. They've got good scholarships. Like they get 100% scholarship. And of course, when you move there, while you are living, you can work also. That's the best thing available abroad. That
Right.
you can
Right.
meet
Right. You can
your
do
own
some part time.
expenses. So even if they're getting the tuition fee waived off and they are staying there and they are still working over there, so they can manage their expenses in that way. So you
Sure.
have
Yeah. That's
scholarships,
the
government fundings,
point.
everything is available. I mean, you just need to show that intent of going, the right
Okay.
intent, I would say.
Okay, so I think the first you start with the goal and then you probably choose the mechanism and institutions
Yes,
because there are many options these days, right? Because of this distance learning and online. And what I've seen is many of these online courses are also offered from some very prestigious universities. So
yes,
let's say you're
absolutely.
not able to make it, physically there, but if you do study from those universities, still it will have lots of value, I feel, because the curriculum is same generally.
It does. It does carry a lot of value.
That's all the questions that I think majorly I wanted to discuss, and I think most of the students, might be thinking. And there is also a lot of confusion still, and a lot of competition also, as you mentioned. But another thing I feel is like even if let's say you have studied some courses which are good or not so great. When you start the job, right, at that time also I've seen many people taking all these courses, and whatever gaps are there in their knowledge, they just quickly
Hmm.
fill it, and kind of they don't let these gaps kind of uh, sidetrack their career.
Exactly.
So maybe you can highlight that also, because let's say for whatever reasons you have enjoyed your college time a lot, you have done a lot of partying and all, for whatever reason, doesn't mean that everything is ended. During jobs also you get lots of opportunities. If you are interested, uh, you can kind of take a lot of these online courses and kind of make up for that
Yes.
during that time also.
Let me tell you something. Even my journey started. I mean, I never decided to become a career counselor, first of all. It just
Okay.
happened. So
Sure.
when I started my journey, I just did a regular management course, and then I took a break before doing my master's. That I
Okay.
want to just explore the world. I mean, just the organizations. I need to work. So I got into an IT sector, which was not my domain at all.
Okay.
But I just completed the training and I came back.
Okay.
Then I thought, "Ki, what to do next?" So
Okay.
therefore, I told you the career counselors play an important role there, where we have a lot of confusion in our mind. And
Right.
psychologically, we also need help at times, because we have too much thoughts going in our mind. I joined an organization where in the education sector only, where I started working being as a center manager, a counselor. So I used to manage everything. And therefore, when I started working, I saw the competition. I mean, okay, this person is doing this person is doing that. I got to learn a lot of things. And that's how I
Okay.
started exploring my other options as well. Because when you get to see other person and knowing about other person, that this person has done this, I think I can also do this. So I remember
Okay.
that we were three friends and we planned to do law. Law
Okay.
was, and I always wanted to study law because I think not just because I wanted to be a lawyer, just because I want to grab that information about what is there in law and everything. Just I was
Okay.
inquisitive about learning law. So I did my law with
Interesting.
them, but I didn't do anything about the law afterwards. Um,
Okay.
then I got an opportunity to study abroad. I became a trainer and I
Okay.
developed the entire content. I became a study abroad counselor. And then I
Okay.
started working with a boarding school in Dehradun where I was managing the entire admissions and marketing, like the entire outreach. And there I
Okay.
met somebody who was very much elder to me, and she was a career counselor. So when I
Okay.
sat with her, I saw like, wow, I mean, she's guiding students so well, and like learning about everything is so, malab, it was so malab, attractive to me. And that's how I
Okay.
developed, and that's how she guided me. That's how you can start your journey, Shivika. I think it's back in 2015 or 2016. It's been 10 years that I've been into this domain. So wherever I get a
Okay.
chance, because then like thereafter I started working with into education
Mhm.
sector, because now I decided that my forte is education. I want to be in
Right.
the education sector. And what I have missed in my life, I don't want other students to miss it. Maybe I could
Sure.
have done pretty well if I could have understand back in 2010 or 2011 that what I really want to do. But then I
Okay.
understood in to 2016, okay, this is something that I really want to do now. So yeah, I mean, a career counselor can actually save your precious years of your life by telling you what you can
Sure.
actually do, and of
Okay.
course, giving you that a real vision also into your mind. Okay, so these all what you can possess. I mean, if I'm a career counselor, I can always touch base on the law part as well, because anyhow law can also be connected to the counseling. You just need
Right.
to get your all skills imbibed in one thing and you can utilize it.
Sure.
So I did a lot of certification courses that time. So that's how I know that how these certification courses are very important. I did in psychology, I did in positive mind thinking. So yeah.
That's an interesting journey actually. And when I was like in the first few years of my career, I also did a lot of courses on this Coursera, and at that time I was not sure but I was used to feel interested. But what I realized is in the later years, those courses came very useful to me actually, because not just for certification, but some of the knowledge that I had gained in those courses, right? Though
Absolutely.
it was not immediately applicable, but in the later years, right, it became very handy. And I also had the vocabulary to discuss about certain things which, without those courses, probably I would not have had.
Hmm.
And so, yes, yeah, and keeping your mind open is very important. Don't have to worry too much about anything. There are always opportunities. And, as you have done, right, remaining connected with other people, learning from them, kind of discussing these things openly, that can also open up a lot of,
Hmm.
opportunities for students, both while learning as well as when you are in the job, right?
Working as well.
And shouldn't worry too much about changing job streams also, I think, because if you really feel interested into something, you can always find a way to kind of
Yeah, I think one
go
life,
into
it's
it.
better to explore a lot of things
Hmm.
and get to understand what is there in each and every profile. I mean, if you want to explore, of course, you can do
Hmm.
that. But if you think that, okay, I'm really happy with this
Hmm.
part of my career and really only want to explore this part, so okay, that's an individual's choice. But I think if you have
Right.
one life, I think better
Hmm.
to explore, learn a lot, sit with people, talk to them, know about their experiences.
Thanks, Shivka. I mean, it was a great discussion. I'm sure there are a lot of questions which people have in mind, and they would be
Hopefully.
resolved to some extent. And also, you guys feel free to connect to Shivika. She is a career counselor also, and if you have any doubts, maybe she can help you unlock them regarding, let's say, yourself, or if you have children and you want to plan their progression, career progression, maybe it's a good idea to reach out to her. And anything you want to say, and then we can wrap up, Shivika.
So I think, guys, you are doing pretty well. I mean, if you are still confused in your stage of life, that means good that you are thinking at least about something, rather than
Right,
people who are not at all confused. So yeah, this thing will keep on changing. Some or the other factor will come and hit you. Like AI has come into the picture, and everybody got so scared. Oh my God, that AI has come. My life is gone. My job is gone. No, you just make a friend with AI and start working with it. So I think
right.
just take everything in a positive way rather than just being taking into more a negative notion, and just keep exploring trends. I think exploration is very important. Keep talking to people. Now you have everything available online. Instagram where you can just connect with people, LinkedIn where you can connect with people. So listen to
Right.
the podcast happening of the expert leaders, and you can gain a lot of knowledge then. I mean, you have this access available, so just try to utilize it. Yeah.
Thanks, Shivka. I think
Thank you, Pradeep.
uh, thanks for that note. And all the people who are watching, if you have any doubts, careers about career, or let's say technology or whatever you feel should particularly for students, feel free to drop comments. Maybe we'll try to help you there as much as we can. And best of luck for your future careers. We hope you all do great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pradeep. Thank you.